This is Raquel, and I am going to be doing a live video today with the Tickets and Trinkets from Tonic Studios. I'm going to do some housekeeping here, and before I begin, I'm going to just add some links that I think everyone should have. So bear with me as I get those. I want to make sure that everyone can grab them, and let's see if this will cooperate with me. Here we go. Okay. Hello, Susie. Thank you for being here and thank you for your patience. I'm trying to navigate here. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to, so I've got a favor to ask. If you could click on my links there, either one, it doesn't matter. I would truly appreciate it. It doesn't mean you have to shop. I just want to share my links with you. So that would do me a huge favor. Um, and I'm gonna try to set myself up here so that you guys are not staring at the legs of my camera here, my camera setup. All right, I think that's a good enough view there. Um, so this video today is going to be with the Tickets and Trinkets die and stamp set, and I apologize if I'm talking too loud. I'm going to try to use my indoor voice. So this is the one of the links that you're going to see is going to be for this die set here. Hello, Tanya. Welcome. And I'm sorry that I'm a little late. I did say this morning during the live video for Tonic Studios that I was going to come do a live video today, but I actually had to cut all my papers and, you know, get the prep work done because I didn't have most of it done. So that's time consuming, of course, especially when you're like me and you misplace your papers, quote unquote, and it turns out they were sitting right here all along. Oh gosh, I could kick myself sometimes. I was like wrecking my brain, going, I just cleaned my room. How could I have missed this? Where did I put the papers? And they were literally right on the, oh, is it? Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. That shouldn't be the case. Let me see something here. Okay, Susie, I don't know why. I just checked the link myself and it works just fine. So if the first one didn't work, then try the second one. Um, where it says, let's see here, tickets and trinkets. And I'm sorry, I don't know why it pasted so weird. This is, I was using my iPad and the whole copy paste thing on iPad because you have to do it with your fingers. It's not the best, but the link is working. Um, Anyway, I just want to let you guys know that this set right here, when it was first released, it was released with this memory book die set, which is the Treasure Dreams Base Creator, and it's so super cute. Thank you so much, Susie. So, however, this one I did leave the link. That was the first one that should have worked. But the second one, this one here, is on sale for $13.99 right now. So you may want to take advantage of that. And of course, if you are a Kit subscriber, then you get another 10% off of that. So that's a wonderful deal. So what I have here is that I've cut out quite a few things. So the first thing that I'm going to share, and I was just standing on my my little, what do you call that, my stool there, so that I could see if the camera was okay. All right, so I just wanted to share some other dies and stamps that I got out from my stash because I'm challenging myself, of course, as always, to use old and new, something old, something new. So today what I grabbed was, this is what the Tickets and Trinkets die set looks like, by the way. This comes with 4 different types of tickets. So it's got this nice long one. So let me show you what that looks like cut out. And what I like to do is take one of these guys and actually do it this way. Kind of just push that. Um, so that's one sample, super cute. And this has that cute little edge that we all like with the tickets, right? But it also has an inlay piece that you can layer right on top. And I did cut it out of a similar color there, but I'm just going to set these here so you can see what they look like. There's this wider one. I would call this a more chunky one. Super cute, also with a layer. So that's what this one looks like. And if you see, the center cuts out like a circle. And by the way, these do perforate, so you could definitely tear them apart. So the layer one for this is this one here. Super adorable. Okay. Then there's this little ticket, the baby one is what I would call this one. So cute. And what I love about Tonic Studios is that they are so keen on adding details that other companies don't. And here's what I'm going to point out. You see the center there? So that looks more like a little diamond, whereas this one has the circle. I don't know about you, but those little differences to me make a difference. When it comes to crafting, I just love to see that kind of detail. Now this one is small, so this one doesn't have a layering piece, but there's this other one, and this is, I would call this a more romantic style here. And then it has a layering piece, and that one looks like this, kind of cloud-like. So imagine if you're doing a baby album or a card or something, and you need clouds, you can certainly use this. And then here's the layering piece, same thing. So, and of course you can stamp on top of them. You can do decorative papers as I've done here. So what I did is I used some leftover papers that I've had in my stash for far too long that I wanted to use up. And I got to thinking that this would be so adorable as, and these are just layering pieces as you can see there, that they would be so super cute in a mini album, of course, because that's my preferred form of crafting is to make mini albums. So I got out a couple of other items, but first let me share with you some of the other tags. So this has a little hexagonal tag, I think that's the word. I just happened to cut it out of white linen cardstock, so that's what that looks like there. Cute little sizes, so adorable for embellishments. Here's that one, the circular one, and the little heart one, which I had used. I used this recently and I can't remember what I used it in. It was a card or something. I don't even know. I don't know. It makes so many things. Then from a different die set, which I don't have out, I cut out this adorable little butterfly. Isn't that so cute? And this came from one of the Tonic kits. I just so happen to have that little flower laying on my table and that gem, so I just added it there. Then there's this sentiment that I also cut out, and that blue color that you're seeing there, I was able to color. Hi Rocky, hi Sandra, thank you for being here. So this is going to be a long video. If you have a free Friday, then let me tell you, I am here for the long haul. So I colored my paper with clear water, and this is an aqua flow pen. That's how I got this adorable blue color. It's my favorite color. I'm surrounded by it. And then I used some gold. This is called, let's see here, Mica Mist in Aspen Gold. And I just sprayed the paper a little bit. So I got some gold, little, you know, glistening gold on there. And then I do have from, let me set this aside for 1 second. You guys can probably see this here. I have this dream, what's it called again? Let me find out the name. Rustic Rose, sorry. So this is from the Rustic Rose collection. This was also an older set, and this is what I was speaking of, is this was number 18, I think. Wait. No, sorry. number 35, Tonic Craft Kit number 35. So in any case, it came with all these little petals that you could put together and make an adorable flower, as well as a tag and other things and phrases. But I only used the little petals, just these little ones here. And I started making a little flower. And what you do is essentially make a cross with them and then, you know, flip it over, make another little cross on top. And it has this really cute little border. And the reason I wanted to use this, I still have hot glue, but the reason I wanted to use this little flower is because the edges emulate the edges of the tickets. So that's just me, OCD, right? Try to use it to my advantage. So over here, I have a couple more little petals like that on what I call my little dashboard. So I have a few more that I can put together, make some more little flowers. And then I have these from, I think this die was actually from Elizabeth Craft Designs. I had lost it and then I found it when I was cleaning up, so I just used that. And then these little corner pieces here, they're actually, I mean, you could use them as corner pieces. Let me show you how it folds like this. Or you can use them as the die is intended to, which is, so yes, Sandra, to recap, this is the Tickets and Trinkets die set. It comes with 22 dies, and this is what this video is going to be about today. And this is what it looks like. And if you click my link, which you see in the chat, not the first link, the second one, it'll take you to it. It's only $13.99 today, okay? So you might want to take advantage of that, because once it's gone, you know, that's how it goes. They don't necessarily bring them back. But this is a really versatile set. It has this piece here, which I cut with this die. And what this does is that you fold those little corners, and that helps you hold on to, for instance, a little ribbon that you can use to close the book. Or you can just use it as a decorative photo corner if you wanted to. It's up to you, but it does come with a larger one here. And of course, if you're going to make a book, for instance, that has, let me just show you, that has a rectangular, just regular old corner, you can definitely use it as your little corner piece for a book. So it's just so adorable. Hello, it's Lasagna, right? Hi, sweetie. Thank you for being here. You bought it, Rocky? Well, Rocky, you did tell me, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but you did say to me that you were going to message me and ask me what to shop for. Well, welcome, Lasagna. And I'm so sorry that I'm horrible with names, so I do apologize. But I know that you also love Tonic Studios Dies. So guys, check out Lasagna's channel, because she's got some gorgeous, gorgeous makes with Tonic Studios Dies as well. She's on the what do you call that? On the bandwagon, right? So here's the other thing that I was looking at, was that we all get the little stamps with the sentiments and yada yada, right? So I happen to have craft kit number 48, which I got during one of the vault sales. And guys, this works so perfectly with these tickets. So let's go ahead and start doing that. And of course I forgot to grab my inks, but hold on one second. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna stick to two colors. I'm gonna do Midnight Surf and Acorn Brown. Okay, just for the sake of keeping things monochromatic. It's my preferred way of crafting anyway. That way my brain doesn't start cramping. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so here was my thought process. I was looking at these, see, and how many would fit on a particular ticket. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm digging this. I can use so many of these on here. And the same with the other little layering piece, you know. Y'all know what I mean about that. So let me go ahead and grab a little block. I'm gonna try not to, let's see here, this says sweet little moments. So let's start with that. Um, and I thank you guys for being here. I thank you for those who left me such sweet comments on my last live video. Um, I truly, truly appreciate it. And I felt a bit vulnerable. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm showing so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rocky. Crampers. And guys, I need to move my iPad. It's so far away that I can barely see the chat. But I'll keep checking in on you guys. So, okay, we're gonna, I don't remember when I got this ink, but this is the Acorn Brown. If it doesn't work out, then we'll just move on to something else. But let's see how this looks. Yeah, that doesn't look so great. So we're not going to use that ink. Let's use the blue. And this is going to be shabby. So, oh, I hope these inks work. Actually, the stamps are new, so I haven't done my whole washing thing, so that's all my fault. But let's pretend we didn't want to use the brown and only wanted to use the blue. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and of course it has a tiny little shadow now, but that works for me. And I like the font there, so let's do another one just to see. I really like this sentiment. It says, "You make me smile." How sweet is that? Hello, Stace. Good morning. Oh, I was talking about brain cramps. That's just it's an old, I don't know. My upbringing is weird, but I don't remember where I learned that phrase, but it was somebody who said that, you know, too much information, too much whatever, that gives me brain cramps, and it just stuck. So I say that a lot. Like, you know, overstimulation or whatever. You just call that brain cramps in my world. Okay, so let me grab another one of these. They're so cute. I mean, you can use them however you like, but you know what I'm saying? It's just, all right, this one's gonna say, "You make me smile." And the papers that I'm using, as I said, are leftover, excuse me, leftover papers from, I knew I was gonna forget. If it comes to me, I'll share. I can't remember now. Oh, it was some expensive paper. I can't remember. But I did make another project with it, and it's one of my favorites, which I did actually keep. Let's see here, for someone special. Hello, my friend. Let's just do hearts on this one. And on here, I'm actually gonna put these back. And I appreciate y'all's patience while I fiddle and faddle, because my nails are long and sometimes they just get in the way. But I'm just as vain as anyone else. So let's see here. Let's do, I think cherry blossom. No, for some reason that color doesn't look cute. All right. I think I'm going to switch over to one of my archivals because I want a pink, but I want it to show up. And for some reason, that other one I think is too light. But of course, guys, I'm probably going to end up layering this again. Because, yeah, that doesn't do much for me either. Okay. What is going on? Let's go with Ranger. Worn lipstick. This seems to be my go-to. And I think this is the pink that I use most in my craft room because it actually does pop. Yeah, see? Big difference. So that's from Oxide ink worn lipstick. Yep, that's a good paint. All right, and of course, if you know about oxides, if I were to add water to that, it would get all bright and super cool, chalky looking. So that's another, you know, that's another video. But let's just start layering now, because the whole idea is to start putting these things together and make a little embellishment. So let's grab, I think I'm gonna grab this one, and I hope you guys can see okay. Let me see here. Hello, let's see who else is here. Anka? Oh, hi, Anka. Thank you for being here. So I'm thinking to, here's what I was thinking earlier, to kind of layer these. Let's see here. I think I want to do it like this though. Yeah, let's do the whole vertical thing. And where's my butterfly? Over here. Because, no, this one needs to be lighter, I think. This one. And I know, I mean, this is kind of like a whole cluster thing. You guys do whatever you're comfortable with, but there's no rhyme or reason or rule. Ew, hot glue is so gross. I detest the color of that hot glue once it gets like old, you know? I'm like, ew. Okay, so, but it's quicker than getting out my foam pads, to be honest. So I just, you know, this is how I typically end up making my dimensional stuff. Because while hot glue is drying, you can lift up the paper, and because it's silicone based, then it's gonna stay like that. Boom, dimension. Okay, so I'm gonna add my little butterfly down here, and I'm trying not to think about it too much. This flower might be too big, so let's add this later. But as far as these little flowers are concerned, this can add a little bit of color here and there. So let's do one there. And of course, this is taking it on that shabby chic route, right? But if you don't like, woohoo, if you don't like shabby, if you prefer clean and simple, then you can picture this as, instead of maybe a flower, just a tiny little gem there in the corner. That would suffice, you know? But me, sometimes I like to push it, say more is more. It depends on what I'm making, of course. And I should be using my tweezers because I'm getting glue all over my fingers. Here they are. That's not fun. Okay. Whoopa. All right, so tweezers is the way to go for sure. You can be so much more precise. All right, so there's that one. And if you want to do the little flowers, as I said before, for this, it's kind of like 4 and 4. I like to take my stylus and give them a little bit of a curl for that whole dimension. Because what's the point of, you know, not doing that? I don't know. It depends on what you like, guys. Do whatever you like. So I'm just burnishing the center just because that's going to give it enough of a little lift. It doesn't have to be crazy, but I know this is what my one friend would say, faffing. She describes it as faffing. But guys, I think it's so much worth worth the effort, because just grabbing a few little pieces of paper and doing this sort of thing can give you a unique look to what you're making. So if you see what I'm doing here, I'm doing a group of 4 petals, and I'm doing, you know, kind of like north, south, east, west, if you have to pick a direction to describe it. And I know this is going to cover up a little bit of that butterfly, but that's okay. Shabby is like that. lots of layers. And in the center, I can actually use the little circle that fell out of one of the tags just to keep it cohesive. And then, of course, you know, later on I can add a Nuvo drop to that, right? So, okay, let's just keep it at that. So, taking away those little strings. Now is when I would go back in with my little diamond dots, with gems, you know, that sort of thing. Whoopsie, just dropped it. But here's that one. Let's see. No. Okay, no questions. All right. Let's do another one. And this one I think we should do horizontal like this. And do the remember. Right? So on here, I can use this larger flower that I had made, but of course it's going to blend in because the colors are all monochromatic. So I want to add a little layer behind that so as to let it stand out a little bit more. So let's go with this one because it's a little lighter. And again, some dimension won't hurt. I laugh at these little sentiments because sometimes I'm like, there's always something I have to remember. Because I think every other die set has the remember. Remember this day. Remember what happened. I'm like, not unless I write it down. I'm going to remember a single thing. Remember. All right. I'm sorry, guys. Sometimes I can be a little bit too sarcastic. All right, let's go with this one here. And I'm gonna actually, before it dries, I'm gonna kind of tilt it to one little corner there a little bit, just so that that background shows up a little more. And what are we gonna remember? Let's remember the sweet moments. Let's do that. Instead of being snarky. Remember the sweet moments. So that's gonna go there. And then I'm just gonna do this one here. Tweezers. And of course the dimension helps you also. I need more. Okay. I should have added a little more glue there, but I'm just gonna pull on it like I just mentioned. And if you don't want to, you know, fumble with this sort of thing, just use your dimensional adhesive, which yes, I do have. I'm just being lazy. All right. Bum, bum, bum. There. Okay. So now I need a little gem here. Let me see if I have one in here. I just happened to find this the other day as I was cleaning up. That would work. Ooh, no. Sometimes they're too big. Get out a pearl, but that's a bit, no. Bit cray-cray. Let me add something pretty. I just dropped a bunch of stuff. Guys, I'm so proud of myself. I cleaned up and organized, and I happened to find these folders at a secondhand shop, but I found out through one of the vendors there that these are from Close to My Heart is the company. And I was able to put all my gems in, you know, different colors together, and it made me so happy to be able to do that because now I know exactly where they are. They're not all over the place. I'm gonna go with this pale pink. And whew, I get a little bit nervous when they stick to my fingers. I don't like that sensation. I'm like, let me go. Okay, so I'm gonna add the little hot glue there, but I'm now going to use my scissors just to hold that. And then add that gem in the center. And voila. And of course, if you need more shine, you can add some glitter of whichever sort. I'm gonna add this glitter drop in White Blizzard. I'm gonna squeeze that off to the side first. These are a tiny bit cold, so if you know anything about these drops, you have to kind of warm them up a little bit. Let me see. Yeah. And I keep a needle nearby on a piece of magnet, so that way I can clear out that little nozzle. But I'm just going to go here on the edges of this. Nothing crazy. And the reason I'll do this is because it'll dry faster to just add that tiny little glimmer on the edge. So that's kind of a cheater method to, you know, make something look cute without having to do too much. It's just on the little edges there. And then on here, sorry, I had a little cobweb there that was pulling on my hand. On this one, we can add a little shine to those hearts. So I can go in with a pink. And I hope you guys can see. Oh, okay. So Sandra's saying Daiso sells. Are you referring to the clear envelopes? We don't have a Daiso near me, so that's good to know, though, in case, you know, anyone's willing to do some virtual shopping. Let me know, Sandra, what the costs are if you go to a Daiso and you find out. Because I think I paid, oh, what did I pay? I think I paid, I don't know, maybe 50 cents for each one of those, or maybe $1. I can't remember now. But I was quite excited because I organized an entire drawer with just those. All my little jimmies. All right, so I'm layering this on top of what I stamped. Pink on pink. Super simple. Then on the other ones, I'm going to put this, this is called Aquatic Mist. Just gonna go in here. And this is turquoise, but sometimes you need that pop of color, you know? And let's do it in the center here. Just like that. So again, the colors are not exactly crazy or anything. It's pretty monochromatic, but the texture is there, and I think that that makes things very pretty. And there's a little touch of gold on that butterfly. It might be hard to see in the video, but those are two samples of something that you can make relatively easy, just using what you have in your stash. And the tickets are, I think, are super cute. You could also use your little wooden embellishments if you have this sort of thing. I think these look super cute also. I wasn't sure if I should add them to either one of those, but let me see. Let's do one more. And I can use this one and then layer, let's see here. Try to make it show up. Wait a minute. I do have this here. No. Could do one more with a flower. So let me bring this over here, guys, because I am left-handed. Okay. Am I in frame? Yes. Okay. All right. So I'm going to make one more flower. In this case, let me see if I have enough for two, actually, because that would be nice. 2, 4, and let's see here. Yes, I do. So I'll be able to make 2 little flowers. or maybe 3, which would be even better. Okay, so for this, another way you could curl these is to use your tweezers. Actually, tweezers might be a little bit too soft. Depends on the tweezers that you have. But you can curl them back if you have, you know, strong tweezers. If not, you can flip them over and just burnish the very edge of that flower. So let me go ahead and do that. I'll try to work a little bit faster. Woohoo! And I have got cobwebs everywhere. That's the one thing about hot glue that's not fun, is those little cobwebs. These I had already burnished, so I have some that are already, you know, shaped. And then I think I have 3 more that need a little shaping here. So I'm only going to do the back of the petal now on that very edge. And because I'm using double-sided paper that's quite thick, it can handle all that pressure. So just be aware of that. Depending on the paper that you use, you may have to use a different tool. Now that little petal piece there, that little nib, that's what I'm aiming at when I add my adhesive. So I will fold those up a tiny bit. And I realize this is not the kind of flower for everyone, but as I said before, I'm challenging myself to use what I have. And this is something that I've had since, gosh, I think a year ago. And I think I only did one other mini album with them. So I wanted to take advantage of today. Had a little time to craft. And you see how quickly you can make this flower. Now, of course, you can layer more on top of that. You don't have to do a 1 layer flower. But let's start there and keep going with the other pieces. And I'll check the chat in a minute. And if it looks messy initially, don't be afraid of that. And what I'm referring to the hot glue, of course, because you can always cover that up with a little gem. Okay, so I push those together. Strings! Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this one down. Now it might fall apart, like this one. Kind of falling apart, but that's okay. I can still fix it. I'm going to put this one over here. And I've got 1 more to go. And you don't necessarily even have to add all the petals. You could even, for instance, cut these same little petals in green and just add them as if they were small leaves. That's another option. I kind of just was cutting all the papers at once a little while ago. That's what I was explaining when I first came onto the video. Okay, so I've got my little trio there. Now I do have some petals over here that are left over, so I can use these to add a little more dimension to one of those flowers. So why leave them there if I can use them? I'm going to use them down here. And last one. There's that. Okay. Holding it there for a second. And of course those were larger, but I'm okay with that. And now I'm going to add these pieces here. I think I had it like that. This one, which is the sentiment, you make me smile. And then up here I can say handmade. Woohoo! I added a little bit too much glue there. So, okay. No, when it comes to shabby chic, this is kind of bare minimum because you know you can add lace to this and go all out. You can add those little fibers that you can find, which I do have. I just didn't get any of that stuff out. Um, but let's go ahead and add some pearls to this one. In this case, I'm going to go with blue to contrast. And I'm just going to put them on here, but of course, if you need the hot glue, you can do that. And I can always go back and, you know, reinforce that. I just want to get this done. There's this. Okay. So I've got my little trio of flowers. And if you notice, I do like to work in threes because it creates a bit of balance. And I think I want to add up here. Let's see. I'm trying to find one more little thing to add to that. Okay, I think I found it. Got this little heart, which I hope it's big enough. The one thing I don't like about these things is that the adhesive attracts fibers or lint or whatever, cat hairs, you name it. Okay, I'm just gonna, well, yeah, I think my kitty cat has been around here. There we go. I just wanted to add a little something there, but no, I don't want a cat hair. Ay, 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 mamma mia. Here we go. There. So I just added a little heart there, which no, I can't do it. It's gotta look right. Oh, come on now. I'm gonna get it together, guys. I promise. I promise I'll get it together. Not sure when, but at some point. Here we go. I think that's better. All right. Sans kitty cat hair. There we go. Okay, so I've got 3 different tickets there. Oh, wonderful. Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that because whenever you can get, you know, items for organization at a decent price, then I'm all about that. Okay, so we've got some tickets done. I still have some pieces left over, of course. That goes without saying. Oopsie. Sorry about shaking that. And, all right. Now what I want to do, if you guys are willing and able, right? If you're down with it. Excuse me one second. There we go. Okay. I'm going to leave these over here to the side because I want to share with you, since these did come with that mini album die set, I did want to share with you what that looks like. Let's set those aside, let them dry and all that good stuff. So as far as the mini album goes, I thought this was super cute. The shape, of course, is, you know, typical of Tonic Studios. And it has this unique page shape, which if you're not familiar with it, they tried to go with more of an interactive page with the mini albums, you know. So it's got this one here with 2 different sides on it. These, the reason they're like this is because they won't cut on those edges, so you can create, oopsie, I'm out of frame, sorry guys. You can create a flap, right? An interactive page with that. And they do come with instructions in case you don't know how to use that. This one actually, let me think here. It came with another piece, which is back here, right? So this is all one die set, guys, just to let you know. See that? I didn't even break into that. But I kept it simple today. I cut out pieces of paper to create a mini album with this piece here. So let me just share that with you. This piece here. So because it has that edge, you can make a book out of it or a card. It has a layering piece that you can put on top. Then I cut some using these smaller ones. It comes with tags. It comes with hole reinforcers, a little key, a heart. I mean, you name it. This is one, I think this is, of all of the Tonic Studios mini album dies, this is probably one of the most extensive ones. In fact, I did take a picture of it and stick it on here just so that I wouldn't forget, because there's so much there. So, set that aside. So I wanted to mention that also, because when you see the price point, you might cringe a little bit. It's not an inexpensive set, but I think it's well worth it because you're essentially getting 2 die sets in one, to be honest, because that interactive piece, if you haven't seen how it works, I'm looking around my room to see if I still have the book that I made, and I don't know. I don't know what I did with that. Maybe I already mailed it out. I can't remember now. But it makes a pop-up mechanism. That's what I was going to say. Oh, hi, Louisa, and who else is here? Wonderful. Hello and welcome. So here I have some pieces of paper. I have this heart that I had stamped and embossed. This was with an antique PSX die. I shouldn't say antique, it was older. That I stamped it onto vellum, and then I heat embossed it with white embossing powder, and I love the way that came out. Then here are the papers that I cut out. I did use some shabby chic papers from it's coming to me, guys. I'm blanking. Shabby Art Boutique. Sorry, guys. Whew, took me a minute. And I figured if you guys are up for it, I can start making a book. That way you guys can see the process, right? I try to cut out as many papers as I can initially to get myself kind of set up. See that? And this is kind of simple because most of them, you know, as you can tell, they're all the same shape. It's what you do in the in-between that really makes the book unique, right? But I do like to start with the spine of the book just to get that going. It makes it a lot easier. So I do have my piece of paper here. You'll wait for my video. Well, I do appreciate that. That's very flattering, by the way. I very much appreciate that. So if you get this set and you've never made a book before, what you want to look at is the height here of this piece. If you can tell, it has a little notch here, so you can gauge the way you're going to open and close your book by that little notch. It's kind of an indicator there, but you do want to measure this. And when I measure it with my little ruler, I see that it is 3 inches tall. So that is the tallest that I can make my spine. So I'm going to grab a piece of paper. I'm cutting this to 3 inches tall, and then this happens to be 11 inches. I'm going to leave it like that for now. Okay. One correction. I cut it at 1/8 of an inch smaller. Okay. So I took off 1/8 of an inch from that 3-inch mark. Then I'm going to grab my this little guy here. And I'm going to start accordion folding this to allow myself to create a spine. And this, by the way, is I would say about 65-pound paper. I'm not going to use my 110-pound to create the spine because then the paper is going to crack. So I don't recommend that. I'm going to give myself a 1/2 inch here. And then I'm going to go from that 1/2 inch. I'm going to give myself 1/8 of an inch there and score it there as well. This is going to adhere to the front of my book. And then I kind of want a little bit of a cushion there. So that when my book is folding, opening, you know, open and close, that there's a little bit of a gap there before my first page begins. And that way it's not stuck to the front. In fact, I can make that even a, let's go with 1/4 of an inch instead. I know I already scored it, but I'm not worried about that. Okay, so you can score it at 1/2 inch, and then what's this? 3/4 of an inch. And then from there, I'm going to go to 1 1/4, because that's 1/2 inch. And then 1 3/4, because that's another 1/2 inch. Okay. And now I'm going to make the space between my pages. So I'm going to go to 2 inches, because I'm giving myself 1/4 inch space between each page. And then again, every 1/2 inch. And that's going to create my the place where I'm going to add my page. 3 1/4 inches, and from there 3 3/4, 4 1/4. So that's 1, 2, 3 pages. That, I think that's all I want to add to this book. So I'm going to go to 4 1/2, and then to, let's see here, 5 inches. Okay. Now I'm going to cut this away. And of course you can always replay the video at a slower rate if you need to or whatever. I'm going to only fold here the mountain folds that I'm going to share with you first so that you get the gist of this, right? I'm going to have 3 pages in my book, so I definitely need to have 3 mountain folds here to fit onto my spine, okay? But of course, those need to be adhered together. So I'm going to flip this over, and where I have that 1/2 inch, I'm going to apply some dry adhesive just to create a quick tack there. Now you can definitely get the die set that will cut this out for you if this is not something that you want to even have to deal with, which I would understand completely. But if you've made, sorry for the cat hairs, if you've made more than one mini album, then this will come naturally to you after some time. So I do reinforce that with liquid adhesive, and I'm gonna burnish it and then fold away, right, where I had those other little folds. But you decide how much room do you want between your pages. You can do it so that there's 1/2 inch space between your pages, 1/4 of an inch, whatever you like. It really depends on the kind of book that you're making. And if you find that the spine isn't working for you, I mean, I've been known to take a spine out and then add a different one right on top, which, you know, that's not what you really want to be doing, but if it needs to be done, it can be done. So I'm just removing these. And then I'm going to explain why these mountain folds, right? Because there's many ways to create a mini album, but all this is creating is a foundation for where your pages are going to land on the spine of the book. They need a grip onto something. And in this case, you can do it so that they grip onto these little flaps of paper. That's all I did, right? Was create those. Now, if you find that you want to have an interactive page and that's not enough room, that 1/4 of an inch between your pages, then you can certainly say, well, I'm going to have maybe 3 pages like this and then 1 more page that's a little bit farther away. However, you want to make sure that this piece here fits inside of the spine of the book that you've created. So let's just say, for instance, here, this happens to be 3 inches wide. If it fits within this, then you're good to go. You can definitely add another page. If you want to create a narrower spine, then you're going to have to determine either the room or the space between the pages being smaller or having less pages. You know, you choose between one or the other. And I hope that makes sense. But of course, if you guys have any questions about that, I can help. However, for my book, I am going to, let's see here. I'm going to take some space to add my pages. So I don't want them to be too close one to another. So this is just how I visualize it first. And then I put my little spine in there and I go, is that going to be enough room? I think so. And again, guys, this is only one way to go about it. And then I can do my last page, since there's a little bit of room there. That's where I can add my little interactive feature. I think I'm going to go with that. Okay, so I have this piece of paper. I'm going to cut it down to 3 inches. That's what I said the height could be. And I know for some of you, this might be like super, what do you call it? Common sense. I don't know, but not everybody knows how to create a mini album. So now this is a 3 by 3 inch square, right? Yep, 3 by 3. I'm going to take advantage of that little fold here. Yes, absolutely. You do it whichever way you like. This is just my preferred method because it kind of hides the hinge, and I find it to be super versatile, and I make less errors. Let's be honest, you know, because sometimes you can try a method, and if it's not for you, then you know, you just say, well, that's not the way I'm going to do my books. I'm going to do it my way. And that's the freedom in crafting. You do whatever you like. I'm trying to find my 110-pound cardstock over here. I do believe it's this one. Okay, and just so you know, I did cut my covers, the front and back cover for this particular book, in 110-pound cardstock. And then all the other papers are 65-pound, but because they're going to be layered, that's going to be just fine. All right. So I'm going to have a nice crisp edge here and here for my cover. Okay. Let's set that aside for a second. And this, I think, is such a cute little book because of the size. Now I'm going to cut away a tiny, and I mean just a tiny little sliver from these little edges here. And that's because I want it to not stand out. Okay, so I'm going to grab my little square, 3-inch square, and I'm going to put some glue here. And I want this to create a bond, so I am going to use liquid glue. Just clean it off on the back of my hand as usual. And then I'm going to line these guys up. And if my spine is a tiny, and I mean like a tiny bit taller than this little thing hinge here, that's okay by me because I can cover that up. All right. So what I want to make sure is that it's nice and straight. And then I can burnish that. And then I want to do the back page. And I want to make sure it's nicely lined up. And that's where those little notches come in so handy, because it makes you think like, wow, I got this. Gives you somewhere to aim. All right. And of course you can fold this over. Make sure that's all the way to the edge there. And burnish. Because the this edge is going to determine how straight your book is going to end up being, of course. So you do want to be mindful of that. All right. Burnish. Okay, so now I've got my, see that? My 3-inch wide spine and front and back covers. So let's get to cover the inside of this, which here I just have some white linen weave cardstock. And this is, you know, kind of the prep work, if you will. However, once you've got those down, everything else just comes together so easily. I'm going to cut away a tiny sliver from here. Okay. Because I don't want these papers butting into that little edge there. If they're too big, because that die does not cut that edge. If they're too big, then they're going to butt up against each other, and then when I try to close my book, this is actually going to slide that way, and I don't want that to happen. So now I can just go around here and place this here. It's going to give me a nice foundation, because again, this is 110-pound cardstock for that cover. I'm going to go on the other side, do the same. And try to use your pretty papers when you do this, because it'll be well worth it. Okay. Again, following that edge. And this die set also gives you that deboss edge. So if you want to, you can ink around that, or you can add a gold pen all the way around. Super pretty. Okay. So now I have this kind of, you know, unsightly piece here. If I want to, I can cover that up before I add my spine. So I might just do that to double it up, because this is going to give me some nice weight on the spine of this book. But let me see here. I have to also be mindful of how thick this is going to be. So yeah, it's going to bother me if I don't cover it up. So what I'm going to do here is measure this out and cut a piece to put on there, making sure that it doesn't butt up to that paper, as I mentioned before. So I can measure that again, and it should be a little less than 3 inches. Yep, just a tiny bit. And I mean a sliver. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. And I just hope that this serves as inspiration for you guys. It's just fun. Take an afternoon and make a little memory book. Gift it to someone special, or just put in little pictures that you know you have sitting around on your phone. I have one of those little sprocket printers, and they come in handy. Okay, so now I'm going to add my spine here, as I mentioned before. And I'm going to move it kind of a little bit close to the front here. Now, as I mentioned before, I did leave myself like half an inch here in the front and in the back. But if you start seeing this, I do have quite a bit of room here, so I could add another page there. So I'm going to allow myself the freedom of doing that. I'm going to cut this down just a tiny bit. And if you wanted to, this half inch here, you could add it right to the front of that page. And because I created that fold, that could have been adhered right to the front there too. I don't want to make such a big album today, so I'm just going to go with this. I'm just going to add my glue back here. No biggie. And of course you can use your score tape or whatever. I just want to use the liquid glue today. And because this is all one color, it's going to look pretty nice and cohesive. But I do have other books that I've shared on this channel where I've taken strips of paper and adhered them right in between those little channels there. And it makes it look so cute, especially if you do it in a metallic paper. It makes it look nice and finished. If you want to see a sample of that in a minute, I can show you guys. Kind of break up the monotony of what I'm doing here. But I'm just going to burnish that nicely. Add my little spine. Just be sure not to crack that paper. Don't be too rough on it. So while that dries, let me grab another book so I can share with you what I mean. Yes, I do have the spine set, but when I do my tutorials, I tend not to use them. So that people can see. I'm sorry, I was walking away to grab this. This is another little book that I had shared. And this was, which was this one? I'm trying to think. This was back in the fall. I think they re-released this one. This one had been sold in a kit, and then they just brought it back, and it has this really adorable edge it's all stitched and everything. And then you could do this kind of spine here, which is the same concept, the same way that I cut out this square piece of paper, only you use the die to cut into it, and it cuts all the little holes into it. And then you add the little hole reinforcers, and then you thread your ribbon. And once you have all that done, then you stick it onto the spine of your book. But I just wanted to share with you here, the spine here, I decided to do it with this color paper to match the book. I added my little pages, and for instance, this page here ended up being vellum, and someone asked me how did I do that. I just added the page the same way you could add anything else to the spine. So if I have room here, if I fold my page, let's just pretend this is a page, and I fold it so that it has a 1/4 inch little channel there, you can just adhere that onto the spine of the book, and then use a metallic piece of paper right in that channel, which is that thin piece of paper, and it gave me that look. And I really love the way that, you know, the finish that added to that book there. It's just a little something to spark, you know, or keep your eyes moving around. And of course you can do leftover pieces of paper from the collection also and put those in between your pages. So that's up to you, but it's pretty simple. And of course, if any of these ideas are helpful to you, feel free to leave me a thumbs up. Hey, there's even a button there for, I don't know. No, I didn't. Never mind. Forget it. Thumbs up is sufficient. Yeah, if you could give me a thumbs up, it takes a lot of effort to make these videos happen, so I would appreciate it. Okay, so here come the pages. Now, what you don't want to have is the page poking out. How do you avoid that? Just cut it down. So that way you can place it on your spine and not have that issue. So I'm going to cut it down here, and that'll give me some wiggle room as to where I place it on that spine. Okay, so see how I just cut that away? Now I have freedom here to move this up or down on that little spine piece, and that way I can gauge it before I glue it down, like how far up do I need to put that so that it doesn't poke out when I'm opening my book, or closing it I should say. So that's another reason why I like this kind of set, and that kind of spine I should say. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that with just these, because I don't think I made that many pages. I think this was another cover piece, yeah. That one and that one, yeah. All right, so once you have those, this part here is self-explanatory. You're going to add some glue to your little page there, just that little edge, and then place it down. Because it's a shaped page, my recommendation is that you try to follow the shape that's already there on the cover, and then fold over the spine onto that. Now this will give you a second to kind of fiddle with it. So I take my book and I do this, make sure that it's top and bottom correct, right? And then I'll burnish that. Okay. Now, I've mentioned before, white paper is a little tricky to work with because it gets all yucky sometimes, right? Especially if you have oils on your hands. I just use a rubber eraser and I take away any of those little bits that get stuck. Okay, I'm going to add my second one, and I could do the same thing, right? Lay it down, fold over my hinge, and then take a second to make sure that it's matching the prior page. If not, I have time to move it. And if it comes apart, then try to tack it on there again. Yep, I think I need more glue. Hold it, and it should be, you know, equidistant, just like all the other ones, because honestly the pages are not different in size. Just giving you different ideas here. So now I'm going to go with what I like to do here. So let's just do this, go back to that first page, right? And I'm trying not to go too fast, guys, because if I don't allow my glue to dry, then that's not going to work out at all. I won't be able to use the book. All right, so the first page, I laid it down. Hopefully it's nice and dry now, right? I'm going to use my other page that I cut out, same exact size, and I'm going to apply the same principle, only it's going to be the back of that one, right? So here I have an option. I don't have to glue the entire thing around. I can leave a little opening if I want to. I do that quite often to create a pocket. But now I can be more generous with the glue on here, right? And that's going to help me have a nice foundation there. So depending on how far in, say I wanted to add a tag or something, depending on how far in I want that tag to be able to fit, then I might say, well, let me add glue just to this part of my page here. And I left myself a pocket that big. And then I can just put this down. So can let that dry. And of course you can burnish it. Make sure it makes good contact. Do you guys have any questions for me at all that I could help answer? I'm going to take a quick sip of water, guys. Woo! Okay. I'm going to repeat the same thing. Flip this page over and add the back. And of course I want to make sure that that pretty side is showing, right? In this case, I'm going to do the whole page. And here's why. I like to alternate which pages have like activity going on with them. So that way, whatever I put on top doesn't impact too much the next page. And that way I don't get a wonky looking book. And that's just a habit of mine, okay? But I'm gonna make sure that I can fold it both ways. Same with this. Get a nice hinge mechanism going on there, right? And what do I have here? Let's see. I think my other ones, no, they're smaller. Yep, I do have a smaller one here. So I can add a smaller page here if I want to, which would be kind of fun. The difference is here that I would probably have to cut down this piece. Okay, but I can definitely do that because I have room for more. And here's what I mean by that. I don't want these pieces poking out. So guess what? You can cut down just a tiny bit. Just make sure you're not cutting into the actual back there of the book. All right? Just cut that down a tiny little bit. All right? Makes your hinge a little bit shorter, and then you can introduce a smaller page. All right? So I'm going to add glue there again. And fold my hinge. And then I'm going to take my second one here. And I'm going to add glue here, but I'm going to leave the rest of it open. Just in case I want to do something with that page. Okay, so now that we have that foundation on this book, we can start using those pretty papers. Oh yes, for sure. You have some of the larger ones. Yeah, I ended up using, well, initially the Spellbinders Platinum machine. That's the only one that I had. Or I should, no, I take it back. I had the Spellbinders, the 6-inch one, and I was not able to use my Tonic dies. Again, same reason, they were too large. So I got the bigger one. Excuse me, and it worked out great. I'm grabbing my pretty papers here now, guys, and the reason I went with the after that, I should say, the reason I went with the Anna Griffin one was only because I was having issues with my hands hurting, so that led me to purchase the electronic one. Okay, so here, if you can tell, this page covers the entire border here. What I did was I used the same die that I used to cut this foundation page, which had the whole hinge and everything, right? Only I cut down that part. And now I can use this as my cover. And then I did cut another layer that I can put on top. because again, I wanted this to be kind of, you know, shabby chic. I'm going to go ahead and put this down first. And I really love the way this die cuts. That little border is just so pretty to me. And if you guys missed the beginning of this video, these papers are from Shabby Art Boutique. If you like these kinds of papers, another set that I have, in fact, here's one of them. I have this page here from Carolyn, who's Tea Time and Dolls. She has some adorable shabby papers as well. I just happen to have this stack that I had already printed out, so I went with that today. I'm going to add dimensionals to this because I want this to pop out. So I might actually, you know what, come to think of it, I might use foam. Because I have some leftover foam from another project I had done, and this is going to fit perfectly, so I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to use hot glue, make it a little bit, stick a little bit more, right? And I know this is going to look so unsightly all of a sudden, but it's just to create volume here. Which I probably didn't need, but whatever. It's going to be chunky by the time I'm done. It's going to be a chunky monkey book. I'll put this one right on top. Hide that unsightly looking piece of foam. And there's that. Right? Super pretty colors. I will be doing the spine a little later, but that gets me started there. Then I'm going to do the back as well of this piece of paper. And it just came to me. It's from Blue Fern Studios. See, I have the name here, Blue Fern Studios. Just had a piece left over. I'm going to cover this with a little bit of lace here. So I'm not going to worry too much about this edge. I'm just going to cut away that little bit there where the notch was. And in fact, this didn't even cut perfectly, but for some reason it separated a little bit there, but I'm okay with that. I'm still going to use it because I can always embellish. It's a law of the land. Add this to the back. Okay, because I just love those colors. I think it's so pretty, and it matched the digital collection that I'm using, so that's why I wanted to go ahead and use that. And oh, what happened here? Oh, wait a minute. I don't know where this one came from. Anyway, I can do the front cover and leave myself a white border, or let's see here. I can use, I think here, what I had planned out. I did have a plan, guys. At least that's what I told myself. Have these pieces to go in here. Okay, and obviously there's quite a bit of room here. You see that? So I can do my interactive page here instead of in the back. And I did cut those pieces out, so let me share with you what that looks like, and then that way you guys can see right off the bat what I was planning on doing here. Okay, I always cut out two to give myself an opportunity to kind of cover up my mess if need be. So the die will cut like this, and here are the folds, as I had shared before, right? But let's cover this up real quick. Make it pretty. And again, it's up to you how much you do with this. The front cover you can make into a pocket. I might add another little layer on top and make it into a pocket. However, if I'm going to have an interactive piece here, then I need to be mindful that it might get stuck on whatever I put on the other side. So I tend to do kind of like a plain side and then a really fancy side, if you will. So on here, I'm going to start myself off by kind of gauging, well, how big is this going to be and all that jazz, right? And thank you. I can't take credit for the papers, but yeah, let me tell you, there are some adorable collections out there. I had those printed out and I was saving them for something special, and then I guess today came around and today was special enough because I decided to use them. Okay, so this gives me a hinge on both sides here. Hinge 1, hinge 2. And the idea is that you then take, say you want your, well, let me put it down first. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's take all this stuff out of the way. I need 2 more hands. Does anyone have any extra ones laying around I can use? Because seriously. Okay. I'm gonna put that there. I can decide, I would like for this to open in this direction, like this. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to try not to make it too complicated. However, I like it when mechanisms open and close. So I'm going to put a little magnet back there. And that's going to help me out so that when I go to close my book, it's not flopping all over the place, as my son would say. Okay, so I'm going to put a little magnet there. I'm going to cover that magnet with the pretty paper. Okay. And voila. All right. Got the pretty paper, and I need my hinge on this side. So I'm only going to put glue on that side for now. And then I have my other hinge, whoosh, facing the top of that page. You could, if you wanted to, put it like this. That's up to you. I just think it works out better if I put it on this side. So I'm going to kind of gauge how, you know, the distance on the page and all that jazz. Put my paper down, apply the pressure, and let that dry for 1 second. While that's drying, if it looks good, then I'm going to grab my next magnet and put it right on top of here. So because it already stuck immediately, I'm going to put my little glue there. Okay, and now I'm going to cover this up. Hello, Regina. Thank you for being here. And I have a die that cuts out the piece to fit here, because this does have kind of like that little kitty corner. Only I cut it out in the wrong direction here. Hold on a second. That was wrong. I'm trying to find the piece, guys. If you guys could, you know how people do those videos where you can see their face and the table? I don't think I could ever do that because I become such a hot mess. I started out this video looking so great. Not really, but my hair was up. And in the meantime, my bobby pins have fallen out. My hair's everywhere. You would think some storm came through. Ay, ay, ay. But that's me. That's how it goes. You know those videos that people post online of their little girls? They went to school and they had their ponytails and the ribbons and looking all cute, and then they come home and they look like Medusa. That's me. Oh my gosh. Oh, Regina, you have these dies. You got to get them out. Get them out and play. So do you see how cute that looks there? This comes with that die to layer. So why not use that? It's so adorable, right? Okay. And now that gave me enough time to dry. So now I can open that page. I don't like the look of this, so I'm going to hide that with something else. And I can use a smaller die if I want to here and create a tuck. I can make that a little, you know, pocket. Or I can just use another large piece here. I had cut out some other ones. This one has that pretty decorative edge. I can use that there. I kind of like the look of that. But I'm not going to glue the entire thing, so that way I can stick a little picture back there. So I'll just put my little bit of adhesive here. So you start seeing how all the layers come together. But it's super easy. It's just a matter of having a little bit of patience, using what you have. Here I can add another one if I want to have like a date, that sort of thing. I can get another decorative piece and put it there. If I want to layer it like so, I think that looks so pretty. It's kind of cohesive with everything else. So let's go with that. So I'm just going to put that there. It's pretty, gives it a nice finish. And then if you're wondering, what the heck do you do with that flap up there now? Well, that's what the second one comes in handy with, is that now you can add this one here, right? So you can just cut away whichever piece, like if you had cut that one away, you would fold this one or vice versa. I'm going to take my scissors and just cut away right at that little notch. Just aim your scissors from one notch to the next. And if it's not perfect, just forgive yourself for it, or have OCD like me and try to get it as even as you can. Whatever. All right. Add your glue here on that little fold. And then match up your page, but make sure it meets the bottom of that too. And I hope I'm in frame, guys. Right? Match up your little circular page there. And then make sure that fold is covered now. Like that. And then apply your pressure there. And all of a sudden that page, actually, no. I'm correcting myself, guys. Woohoo! It needs to be like this. My apologies. I'll cover that up in a minute. I'm going to cut this away because I'm going to keep it simple. Keep it simple. Da, 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 da. I'm going to cut that away. This one is the one that I'm going to put here, and I'll explain in a second. I'm going to cut away this one. All right, the reason why is because I need this to be flat so that it doesn't bump into this. So I apologize, guys. Don't mean to make it complicated. Just putting my glue there, matching up my page. Da, da, da. All right, now that's going to go there. Okay. And the whole point was that you get a page that folds out like that. Folds in like this. Okay. So it has a little bit of bulk here, but not too much so that when you close your book, you know, I can then add a flower there, whatever I want, and still have room here for pictures or anything else, right? Now I did cut this away and I had added glue there, so I want to make sure that doesn't look yucky. So I'll cover it up with another piece of paper. Let me grab something nice. Let's see which one. I want to make sure it's the same size. And I think I'm going to have to cut another. Do I have to cut another one? Well, actually, I have one. So I had already cut another one. So I'll just cover it up with another piece that's the same. So that way it looks nice and pretty. So what I need to do now is just make sure I match it up Yeah, like that. Okay, so I'm going to cover up also this piece here so I can just kind of gauge how much I need there. And this is also why earlier I had mentioned the weight of the paper. If you do all of it with 110-pound paper, then you need to leave a little bit more room between your pages. So depending on whether or not you want to bother with that, you may just want to use your 65-pound paper, which is what the majority of people use anyway. Okay, so this is going to cover that up really cute. Just making sure that my little corners are pretty. All right. I'll apply my adhesive here all the way around now. And then lay my paper down. And this is going to have that pretty finish. Okay. Now if you notice, I didn't do that on this piece, but that's okay. I just added a decorative piece of paper there. And then that way it's not too much bulk on this to fold. So I had mentioned that before. If those fold lines have too much, you know, thickness there, then it's troublesome when you try to open and close your pages. So now that's going to fold like that, right? This piece here on the outside, you want to burnish it nicely. Okay. All right. And then over here, this one, I wouldn't fiddle with that too much. I kind of like the way that it's popping up from the page. So I'm going to leave that be. Now, the one thing I can say is that I do need another little magnet here. The reason being that because I folded this down, now that creates bulk and it's not matching up with the magnet there. So the way that I'm going to take care of that is I'm going to put another one there. I'm going to put glue onto it, and then I'm going to fold my page so that it sticks, right? I'm going to take it off now. That way it sticks on this side. There we go. And now I can cover that up with a decorative piece of paper. And I do have this white. Actually, it doesn't match up, remember? I need this one. This is the one with that little kitty corner is what I'm calling it. So I'm going to put that one there. It looks like a baseball mound. So if you guys need to make a baseball card, you could even use these. Okay, for that. Voila. Okay, now I can decorate this piece if I want to by either using the same kind of dies, or I can introduce something different. Got the electronic Big Shot from Tim Holtz. Oh, the Sandra, is that the awesome. Okay, so Rocky said you got the Hobby Lobby, the big platinum for $119. That's awesome. Good price. Yes, and that could very well be because Hobby Lobby's not going to be carrying that product. Absolutely take advantage of that. Okay, so do you remember remember what we made at the beginning of the video? Remember? This could go here now. Right? Sweet moments, remember? No, what you want to make sure is that when you open this, that it doesn't get all jacked up, right? But, and I shouldn't use that word, but, you know, don't mess it up. But this is a good place for this, so let's go with it. And in fact, it could even become a tuck spot, but I already, you know, put glue all over it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to match up that little edge there with the ticket, so that way I know that when I open this, it's not going to create too much bulk at that fold, because that's what I keep recommending, and I'm going to keep emphasizing it in every video. Don't put any bulk in the fold, because you'll regret it. You won't be able to open and close your pages. But isn't that so cute already? And of course you can add stickles or, you know, Nuvo drops, whatever. And already you've got a bit of interactive action going on there. And in here, I'll probably add a vellum page, or I could just decorate this with pearls, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I like that. Can go on to the next page and keep that one a little bit more simple. I have this page here that's got the Eiffel Tower, and I think it's so cute. So let's put that one down, and then we can do a pocket, maybe like a half pocket page. Okay, because I'm pretty sure this is the page that I also left open. Yep. So I've got that page pocket there, and then I can add another one here, or I can leave this side alone and create my pocket on this side. Let's see here. I have this page. And I can take another page of the same exact size and cut it down so that I can create a bit of a pocket here. So let's go ahead and do that. Try not to overthink it. Let me set this aside a second. So depending on how tall you want your pocket, generally speaking, most people do like half the page, just because it looks cute, and then you can use the other half for something else. So let's go with that. Can't go wrong. And then on here, I can layer this on top and create my little half-page pocket by only applying glue to the edge there instead of the entire thing. I'm gonna do this first. Make sure it matches up on the bottom. That's why I did it first, because of the whole shape thing. It's a little bit difficult to tell sometimes. And then I can add this to my page. Like that. Now sometimes if it blends in with the background, what I like to do is add a little edge here, a decorative piece. I just so happen to have this that I had played with, so I was going to make something with it. So I'm going to cut this down and put it right on there. However, I'm going to take a pencil here, and actually I don't even have to do that. Let me grab the die. Which one was it? The stitchy die? Okay, so I'm going to grab my die and I'm going to use it to trace onto my piece of paper here so that I know where to cut it. Right? Let's work smart, not hard. And this happens to be kind of like a little belly band that I was working on, or I wouldn't even call it that. I took a piece of paper and I frayed the edges, and then I adhered it onto a white piece of cardstock. You could make, you know, of course, an embellishment out of that or whatever. I'm just going to fray the edge there since I had done it already on the other sides. And this can now go right there. And it's a tight little pocket there. However, if you're going to add a picture, it'll fit just fine. And I can also add a piece of ephemera, whoopsie, just to point that out, right? That'll fit back there really nicely. I can also decorate that, as I had mentioned before, with the tickets. So this is a great opportunity for that, and just making sure that the page will close, which I think is going to be just fine. Don't think it'll be too bulky. So I'm gonna add my little glue here, and I think I need maybe a piece of foam back here. So I'm recycling some old foam that I've been stashing away. Can put it right here. Make sure that this fits. Yeah. Need another little piece. I guess that glue's not even going to reach, but that's okay. It'll dry clear anyway. And I can do this. But I think that makes such an adorable little page. Finish that page off very nicely there. So let me look here. Regina said, question, I don't necessarily want to sell them, would rather trade for things I don't have. Regina, what are you wanting to trade? Let me see here. I think we missed something. Color trend items. Oh, do you have some Tonic Studios items to sell? Because there is a Facebook page, I know that, where people have like specific, there's a Facebook page where people are seeking specifically Tonic Studios items. Yes, Tuesday morning closed. Actually, it's closing in a couple days here as well. It's sad. Very, very sad. The employees are not happy. But you know, they took a hit just like everyone else with the wonderful pandemic, which I'm not even gonna get into. I don't want to talk about it on this channel. Not gonna talk about it. All right, so moving on. I have this gorgeous piece of paper that I forgot to mention, and this is a Sizzix embossing folder. It's a 3D embossing folder. So let me get that out real quick. I wanted to here we go. This is abstract flowers, and I think it's so gorgeous, and I think it's going to play nicely in this book as well. So for the sake of kind of switching it up for a minute here, I'm thinking that this will make a gorgeous spine. Because I know that most of you know how to make a page. You understand the whole concept. So let's go with the spine here for a minute. I'm going to cut this down. And it was 3 inches. Let's see here. I remind myself of my measurement. This is actually, yeah, was it a 3x3 square? Isn't that what we said it was? Yep, 3x3 square. So let's cut this down to, let's see here, 3 inches, a little bit bigger because I have kind of like a little edge here. I start off a little bit bigger than what I need, and then go down to the 3 inches here. 3x3. Okay. I am going to apply a little bit of ink to this. And I'm kind of going with the blue because that's just a color that I like. So, thinking stone blue. I think this color is going to work. We will find out. All right, so I'm going to grab a little brush here. And I'm just going to start doing this. And it's going to be, you know, just a light touch of color. I'm not going to go crazy with it, but just enough to make this 3D embossing stand out a little. Because I mentioned I was going to add lace to this, but I really like it when there's texture upon texture. It's just something that I, you know, if I'm going to do shabby, I'm going to try to do it all. So I'm just going to do a little bit of that. Okay. I also want to add a tiny bit of shine to this. So I'm going to get out. Where are you? Don't know if this is open or not. Nope. I have this Nuvo embellishment mousse. And I'm just going to grab a smaller brush here. And I'm going to use this as well. This happens to be in the color, by the way, Toasted Almond, which is just a nice pearlescent color. And this is what I'm going to use here to top this off. And this is really going to bring out that texture. Without having to do too much. And if you're wondering, I did use mixed media paper for this because it has a thicker, it's a thicker paper. It can take on water, it can, you know, take on ink. And I prefer it for the 3D embossing. I don't recommend the regular 65-pound paper for that because it might crack. So you do want to make sure you cover these up really nicely when you get them. If not, they will dry out in a hot minute, and then you'll be sad. Ask me how I know. All right, let me wipe this down real quick. But I want to show you. See how beautiful that is? And sometimes those embossing folders, we look them over, but they can add so much to a mini album. They really are gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to add that to my spine here. Still have my cobwebs, but so that plain looking spine is now going to end up looking so pretty just by adding that bit of texture there. It'll end up looking so rich and luxurious, in my opinion. And then, of course, you can take the same concept and use that mousse all over the edges of all of your papers. I tend to do that kind of at the end. I take a little brush and I just go at it. Now, because this is shabby chic, I am going to go ahead and fray this a bit too. And then this way I don't have to measure too much, you know, the exact height and all that, even though I did cut it to the same size. But when you do emboss papers, well, just to let you know, if you embossed it after you cut it down, you're going to get a variation on the corners and all that stuff. So you're better off embossing it first and then cutting it down to the size you need. Okay? But then you do with it whatever you want. I kind of want this to have these frayed edges. And I'm going to add it here. I'm going to use my Nuvo, just because I know it's going to get into all those nooks and crannies. Because you're going to have a lot of mountain and valleys on that paper now. So I'm going to be a bit generous here. And I kind of think I like the way it looks like this, so I'm going to go with that. Just going to start pinching here. Okay. I hope I wasn't out of, oh yeah. You can yes, you have to add, what do you call it? Isn't it, distilled water, right? You have to get some distilled water and put it back in there. Now, I have a question for you, Regina. As far as the, what do you call it? The regular embellishment mousses, I haven't had issues with them, but the expanding mousse I did. I had one that dried out on me really fast. So that I'm not quite sure if that would be the same, but if you know, please, pass along the knowledge. All right, so there's my kind of shabby spine, chunky spine, of course. And the reason I wanted to show that is because I kind of want to show you what I want to do here. I have this piece of lace that I think is going to look cute here. Because I had mentioned I was going to cover up this edge. Now I forget how it goes. I think it goes like this. I don't think it matters, honestly. But sometimes these little pieces of lace can be so pretty on an edge. But I have to make sure that I have enough to kind of mess around with here. Although I can cover it up again with another piece of paper. Let me see here. Let me grab another one. Guys, it's embarrassing. Sometimes I forget what I have. Look at this. Boom! That would be huge, right? But I'm not sure. See, sometimes it can look crazy, but if you just use the right portion of it, it can end up looking so cool. I think I might do that. Let's go for it. I'm going to cut this away here. I like it when I don't plan things out. Just go with the flow. And I'm not sure I should be cutting this with my tonic scissors, but I think they can handle it. If I shouldn't, somebody let me know. But I think it's going to be all right. So I'm cutting away all those little weird bits there. And then I can always add more. But what I want to do is kind of overlap this here. And that way I can hide that unsightly edge. I think I'm going to go with that. Now, you want to make sure that if you're adding adhesive like this, that you don't inadvertently make it so that your book won't open and close. So just be aware of that. Just adding it as, little decorative piece there, right? So I'm not going to do this and flatten it out, because then if I do that, when then I try to close my book, it's going to give me trouble. So it's better to do it while your page is, kind of folded over like that. And then add the amount of adhesive you need. Not going too crazy with it, but okay. I can cut away whatever I don't like. There we go. I had some other pieces here. This is gorgeous. So I can add that on top or in between. Yeah, I think I like it like that. Like that. So now I'm going to add this piece there. Just going to add some glue here. And put that right on top. Okay. Okay, so that takes care of that part of the book, which I know I'm kind of going back and forth, but that's how I craft. I hope you guys were able to see that. So you have to chop it up really well first, then add bottled water, mix it really well, then put the lid back on. Cool. Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to give it a try. For sure. Now on the front here, I don't think I'm going to do that because I have another idea. But wait, there's more. I have some gorgeous seam binding. Let me think here what's going to match. I don't think it matters because it's shabby chic, so you don't even have to like match too much. So let's do pink. Pink, pink, pink. Guess I have a lot of pink. All right. And I had mentioned this whole thing here. So what I wanted to show, give me 1 second, guys. I wanted to show the little pieces that I had caught, which are these. They're meant to hold on to a ribbon. So let me look at this die set real quick. Nope, doesn't say. There are so many samples of what you can do, and it's hard not to want to do it all. All right, so, wait, that's why it's not on here, because it's not this die set. Duh. Okay, here it is. The Tickets and Trinkets one. I don't know if it says. Okay, here we go. All right, so it's essentially supposed to hold on to a ribbon or the little belt that you can cut. So I guess I don't have to use it. I can just use it for decorative purposes. All right, just a thought. What I got to thinking was that I can use it here. I wanted to use it here, and guys, pardon my crazy thoughts, but this is my thought process on how to do stuff. Sometimes I like to switch it up. So here's where my mind was going earlier, because I promise you there is a method to my madness. First, let me make sure I add a little color to that. So just to make it quick, I'm going to use that same little marker I had mentioned, or aqua flow pen or whatever. Just gonna add a little color there. Right? And then use my fingers all the time, but I'm going to add whatever leftover mousse was on here because I like that whole pearlescent look. Okay, so I'm going to grab a little bit of this seam binding, and I'm going to put it here. It's the one tail end. So I'm just going to glue it into this, like so. Fold these little guys over, right? It's kind of like little dog ears. And then this, I wanted to place back here to wrap around my book front. See what I mean? Because then I can put a pearl on here. That's what I was thinking about earlier, just to switch it up. Okay. And then of course I can add another one facing this direction. So let me cut this. I think this, let's do it like this. I can place another one here, because again, I'm picturing this with a little pearl on it. So I'm going to do the other one. And where's my pen? Here it is. Hope I'm in frame. I need someone to yell at me, but I'm sitting here like I can't hear a single, you could hear a pin drop, I'm sorry, in my room. It's so quiet. All right, let me grab a little more mousse. Yes, you know what? I tried switching up my glue gun. I got that pretty little one that's cordless and it's baby blue and oh, it matches my room. I could kick myself for every time I make a dumb decision because that was certainly one. And boy, that was so hyped up and everybody was so happy about the baby blue gun. Yeah, that thing was no good. So, honest reviews only. Thing was a piece of junk. All right, I'm gonna put this here. All right, same thing again. I'm gonna add my little bit of glue. Try not to burn myself because I've been mean. All right, add another little drop. Close it up, and whatever's left over will help to stick it to my little flower here. All right, so I don't want this flopping all over the place, so I might add a little, let's see here, this flower, yeah, I need a little reinforcement back there. Woohoo! I'm gonna make sure I do that. And no one will know. No one will know. Just stick it on there. Okay. I'm going to hold that down. Now I have my method of closing the book. Right? Now I like these little kind of long tails because I think they're so girly. So I'm going to now cut that away. And I wanted to make sure that this matches though. You know what I'm saying? So wait, this is a little too high up. I'm going to move it down a little bit. Woohoo! All right, I need more glue since I ripped it off and everything. All right, let's do it right. Okay, so I'm trying to match that little arrow, if you will. So I'm going to go here, there. It's a little bit lower than I, probably should have placed it, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. All right, now I can close my book, but I kind of need to adhere this to the cover and to the back so that it's not, flopping all over the place. I keep saying that word, so I'm sorry, guys. I need better vocabulary. I'm going to adhere it here, just kind of tack it. And what's cool about this is that it's so cute and crinkly, the seam binding, that it won't look like you've stretched it out, or it doesn't have to anyway. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here, kind of guide it. Put my little glue there, just a little bit. Let it be wrinkled. And then do the same thing over here. Put a tiny drop here, just on this piece. Okay. Oh gosh. Oh, I'm sorry if I was too far away from the camera, guys. But this is what I did. Okay, so you start seeing how that's going all the way around like that. And now I can add this as a decoration here. I can add another layer on top. I think it'll look cute either end. Choices, choices. Let me see what else I have here. Because I do have other pieces of paper. Kind of think it needs another layer of white. So I have this piece. I don't know if I should put it like that. Maybe like that. What do you guys think? I think it looks cute. And of course, you know, off camera, I'm going to go crazy with this. I'm trying to, guys, I'm struggling with the hot glue. It's getting all over my nails. But I think I like this look. What do you guys think? With the little butterfly there and whatnot, with the little ticket that I had made. I need some feedback. I have 13 people. I need 13 opinions. I think I have relaxed you all into you know, drunken stupor of sleepiness. Oh, thank you, Regina. Thank you so much. I think I might just do that. Okay, let's go with it. Let's not think too much, right? I'm gonna go with the shape, keeping it simple. Go in here, adding this on top. Now, I already have all the bulk I need for that cover, right? So I don't necessarily need to add more, but you can if you want to. I kind of like the look of those roses there. Super sweet. And then we'll do the little ticket on top. And that pop of blue I think is so nice against these colors. And of course it has a little bit of pink there. And I also have the other little tickets that I had cut out, or tags I should say. So I can add that one here, or let me see, what's the other one? Oh, the heart one. I've got the heart tag that I can add here as well. Kind of maybe over on this end. And then I can put something on top of that. So where's my twine? I was finally smart enough to use this basket for something good. So I put my twine in here so that I don't have it all over the place. The trick is how to get it out. It's nicely contained, but I kind of can't open it. I don't remember how now. Oh, yeah, duh, on the side. I'm gonna grab a piece of twine. I guess it's all tangled, which doesn't help. But I needed a place to put it away so that I wouldn't toss it in the garbage. So bear with me, guys. Need a piece of twine. There we go. Okay, just snip off a piece of that. See, you can hide anything and make it look gorgeous. Just stick it in a box. I'll deal with that later. All right. I'm going to make a bow. This is the typical double bow here. Most of you already know how to do this, but you just make a big old mess around your fingers and then you pull. There you go. Ah, get it off. Then, once you have that, you can fiddle with it. Make the little bunny ears, is what I call them, kind of even if you can. Okay, and then cut away the tail. And that can go right here on top of that little heart. Oh, it's so cute. So what I did is I cut it out twice because I like to kind of, you know, if it's not 110-pound cardstock, I want it to be nice and sturdy anyway. So I will put this together. I apologize for my fingers. I keep getting hot glue on them. I'm going to put that little heart right here. I think it's going to look darling. And of course you could do it so that you can take it off and all that. I am going to make mine static. And I'm going to add a little glue there. And add my little bow. Just like that. And these are kind of long, so I'll cut them down. I think that's so cute. And the best part is that I didn't plan it. Kind of love this kind of crafting. Just go with the flow. So we've got the cover, we've got the spine. Again, I'm gonna add a little pearl there, maybe some smaller little, you know, stones there or whatever. Another pearl back here. And I can tuck a little bit of that lace back here that I had taken out. I had it a second ago. I need an assistant. I'm trying to find the rest of my lace that I just had in my hands. I know I had it. That's not it. It's in here somewhere. Here it is. I put it away in the drawer and didn't even realize it. Okay. I was thinking that, of course, I might end up having to rip this apart to stick it back here. No, I don't. Woohoo! Yay, I don't have to rip it apart. I'm just going to shimmy that through there. Shimmy, shimmy. Make it work. It's kind of like getting dressed in the morning. Just shove it in there. All right. All joking aside, I'm going to try to see if I can fit a little bit of that poking out on an edge. If it doesn't look good, it's going to go away, of course, you know. Just trying to see what this looks like. Let's see. Come on, get in there. Get in there. I want to see if it's worthwhile. It might not be, but so I'm not going for a bow or anything like that. I'm just looking to see if I can add yet one little bit of texture there, which I would end up cutting away. Maybe that's a bit much. I don't know. It would have been cute, but no. I'm going to say no. I might add a little something later on as far as that's concerned, but I'll have to look through my stash and I don't want to go do that right now. So I don't know if you guys want me to continue on and do another page or if this is good enough. I still have 14 people here, so you guys let me know. Because I still have, let's see here, I have this paper. I'm trying to see what I cut out. Forgot to put this back in here. I wanted to put that in there. Got that one. I have some smaller pieces that I can add. Let's see here. Would that work? Nope. So I could add this one to open like that, and then no, not that one either. I'm thinking I could cut out another piece. However, let me think here. Sorry guys, I'm in thinking mode. So I've got these pieces of paper all cut out. And I want to make sure I take advantage of them. But I can make it so that there's a place for these tickets. Like that. Let's see here. And then use this paper on top. Make this a tuck spot. I think I'm going to do that. Make this one a little bit of a tuck spot. So I'm going to just go ahead and adhere this. Woohoo! And hold my hand. I'm going to add my little page this way, so that way I know that it's equal all the way around. Just like so. Then I can add this just by adhering the little bottom edge there, as I had mentioned before, but let me decorate it first. Just on the edge there. Add this all the way to the bottom, just to create another little tuck spot. Just like that. Okay, trying to make sure I add enough pressure there so that it stays. I don't want this shifting on me. And then on here, I can decorate with, let's see here, I had my, another little tag. I have this hexagonal one, which would look really cute there on the corner. And I also have, I can cut a strip of this 3D embossed paper, so as to not let it go to waste. Let me see this one. I think I'm gonna have to cut it down. Yeah. I had an idea. I don't think it's gonna work unless I do the same thing again, and I don't want to do that. Which was to cut it in a circular form. No, I don't like that. I'd rather make a little flag out of that and stick it maybe on here. Maybe I'll do that instead. So I'm just gonna cut it here in the center. Just like that. Cut it a little more. Little flags are hard to make, guys. I don't know why. At least for me. I don't know why I struggle with that. But I'm going to take this and cut it away. Cut it kind of like that. Maybe that wasn't, well, whatever. I'm just going to layer it. Just going to layer it with a flower or whatever. I'm going to do that. Ooh. I think I'm needing to use my hot glue today. All right, so hopefully I'm in frame here, guys. But I'm going to do that. Cut away the excess here. There. Okay, I'm trying to follow that little circular path there. And, of course, I can add another little tag. Just those same little clusters as I made before. Can kind of just wing it. And add the little tag on top. And that way I can add a little gem here, and it's not too much. I can add the little bit of twine. Woo! I've got stuff sticking all over my fingers. Okay. Can do the little I know there's a name for this, but just to fold it over and feed it through, right? I've got a big old knot of hot glue on my ring there. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, let me clean this off. Sorry, guys. It's sticking everything to my fingers, and now I see why. Had a big old piece of hot glue there. Okay, now I can place this here. Okay. So as I said before, I'll go back before I call this done. I'll go back and I'll add shimmer to these pages and Nuvo drops and things like that. You know, it's not done until you say so. But I love to use everything that I've, you know, cut out and all that good stuff, because why not? If you have it, if it's sitting on the desk, then it's game, right? So you see that? And just do those little flowers there. And then I'll go back and add all the shiny things on top of that. So, wanting to reply is coming. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see here. Sure Bonder glue gun, my favorite. I have several. I'm not asleep. Rocky, you're not asleep. Thank you. I have 14 people here according to my computer. I hope that's true. Let's see here. Yeah, 14 people and 8 thumbs up. Where's everybody else? What happened? Oh my gosh, Regina, yeah. Yeah, today was a hot mess. We were messing around so bad because we all want what's new, right? That's just how it always goes. We want to know when things are going to be released. They're not allowed to tell us even though they want to so badly. So you can see it in their faces, you know. And after a few years of watching the same people, even though you may not have met in person, you get to know each other's quirks and personalities and things like that. So of course it's fun to mess around and be obnoxious, right? Like, no, I want you to talk about this. Tell me about this. And they're so patient with us. They really are. They're super people. All right, I just took a moment to kind of clean up a little bit so I don't get overwhelmed with all this stuff, because I need to clear my my table for 1 second so that I can actually kind of gather my mind and then go on to another page. And also take away what you guys don't get to see, which is all the cobwebs that I have all over myself. They're driving me batty. All right, let's do a cutesy page over here. So I want to add another one of these. I don't know, I'm kind of digging that, right? The little flippity flap thing. I have this to cover that up. I think it would look cute. And then I have the one that I goofed up on and cut backwards or whatever the heck. That can go on the inside. Then I'm gonna see, because this is what I was curious about, if I could add a smaller page, and I think I can. You guys will see what I mean. But let's start as we did before with a little magnet before I forget. Okay, put my little magnet. Still have hot glue. Ah! On my fingertips. Okay, I need a little layer for my page. And guys, I think for this one, I want to cut it out of this 3D embossed paper because I think that will look super cool. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. It'll take me 1 second. Just have to make sure I use the right page piece, which I have right here. And I just don't want to take up your entire day, guys. That's the only reason why I hesitate. Oh, darn it. It's too small. Hold on. Oh, what do I do? What do I do? It's too small. My paper, like my page thingy, this is the die that goes here, and then this is too small. Should I care? Maybe it shouldn't matter, right? because that edge can still be whatever it is. I'm still gonna use it, guys. I could always put a piece of lace there or whatever. Oh, hello, Sandra. Thank you so much for coming back. I'm so honored that you guys would even watch my videos. I often wonder, will anybody care? Will anybody want to watch these? But guys, I truly just love crafting. It has become such a very therapeutic thing for me. Because I don't like to share this, but I think it, you know, it's kind of necessary sometimes to just be completely transparent, you know, for whatever it's worth. I've gone through a couple of years of some really intense pain, and crafting has just allowed me to kind of zone out from that and move on with, you know, my mind. Because you can overcome quite a bit just, you know, with strong faith and a, you know, strong mindset. But there have been days that have been so difficult, and you know, using my hands and using my imagination and all that sort of thing has been a true gift. So these days I'm feeling a little bit better, even though I've been sick. I've been sick and sick again. However, this has been a true enjoyment. Okay, so I got my little texture page down, and notice I did not color it. That's okay. Sometimes the texture is enough so that it doesn't start looking crazy, because I've got so much color on this end, right? And then I want to add my little interactive page here, but I kind of want to make it delicate. So this is what I want to do. I'm going to add, well, let me do it instead of talking about it, right? Just do it. Just do it, Raquel. All right. Excuse me. Woo! Hold on 1 second. Mamma mia, my throat got so dry all of a sudden. Okay, so then this one can open this way, or it can open this way. I think, since I've got that kind of weird groove there, that I'm gonna go ahead and have it. Actually, let me do this right. I need to score it. I'm gonna have it open on this side. To line up the little grooves. I do not like this scoring thingy, Sam I am. I do not like it at all. This is my least favorite scoring, what do you call this thing? Blade or whatever, knife. I like the little tablet, but I don't like that scoring thing. Always ruins everything. Okay, so I can do it this way and have it open this way. I think I'm gonna do that. But I'm thinking this can shimmy right in here, because remember how I had that kind of little gap? Let me see if I can pry this. I think I can. Yes, I will. I'm gonna pry that thing open a little bit. There, spatula. Wonderful, wonderful spatula. All right, I'm gonna kind of shove that in there. Yes, it will work. It will work. All right, so I'll put that in there. Okay, it's gonna go in there. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. Okay. I'm going to add my second magnet. No, not yet, because remember we're going to have the one that folds here. So I have to remember that. Okay, So I'm not going to put it there. I'm going to just put my decorative piece there first. That's going to go here. My baseball mound is what I'm calling this page. And a pretty piece on top of that. I'm going to try to match the pink with the pink. So let's do I like that? What do you guys think? It's kind of crazy. I don't know. Let me look at, oh, I've been out of frame this whole time. I'm so sorry, guys. I have, let me see, I'm looking here through my stash to see what else I cut out. Got that one, and I've got this one. I put that bright piece there. Now I'm kind of, I don't know. I guess I could put it like this. Yeah, I could do that. Let's do that. I'm just gonna add it down here on this little edge. Okay, so this creates a little tuck spot in here, like that. And while I'm at it, I'm going to add, let's see here, this one. I'm still here, guys. I'm not gone anywhere. Just wanted to add a couple more little tags. Tickets or tags. Oh, bye, Sandra. Thank you so much for having stopped by. Oh, hi, Sam. Welcome, welcome. I've been here a while, haven't I? 2 hours. This may be the longest video ever that I've made anyway. Okay, so again with the tickets, only this time, since I think the colors are, you know, kind of cray-cray right now, I'm going to add them with vellum. And then I'm going to layer these tickets, the little pieces here on top. Or maybe not all of them. Let me just do that one. Or let me think here. Let's think about this. I can do it diagonally. I can do this other little ticket piece down here, like that, or underneath. Yeah, I kind of like that. So that way I can start making another little cluster. So I'm gonna add that one there. And Sam, Sam recently published, excuse me, you were working with tickets as well, right? Which were super cute. Oh my gosh. Super duper adorable. All right. So the reason I'm thinking about this as just layering right on top is where those little holes are. When later on I'm gonna go in and put little diamond dots there. All right. So I'm only going to adhere the back of this one because this is vellum, so I don't want to have glue behind there. It's kind of just going to be hanging out there. And all right, so I've got my little tuck spot, right? Let's recap that. Little tuck spot there, which I can add another little ticket there. This is going to open this way, and now I'm going to add my little piece here. But as I had mentioned before, it doesn't have to be the same exact size. ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde está? Aquí. Okay. If this will be wide enough, which I can cut this down diagonally. I should have done it first, but let's just work with it. I'm going to cut this down a tiny bit, right? Just a little 45-degree angle. Am I in frame? Yes, I am. Boom, right? Cut away those little corners. Then flip that over and add this smaller little page here, just for kicks. And I'm trying to see what I'm doing here. All right, so add my little page there. Not what you would anticipate, but it's okay to switch it up. That's the whole point. And then on top of that, I'm gonna add this decorative piece, but I want to make sure that when I close it, that it stays closed. So what I want to do here is somehow sandwich this magnet. You see that? In between those layers. It's going to be a little bit tricky, but I know I can do it. I'm going to kind of guide that there. All right. So I'm going to put glue there. Glue, glue. It's swinging all over the place. All right, let's just try to let's try to do this the crazy way. You don't necessarily have to do as I do at all. It's just my method. It may not make any sense whatsoever. But if I can find a way to complicate things, by golly, I will. All right, there's that. There's that. Ah, is it sticking? It moved a little bit. It wasn't dry yet. I'm overzealous. Okay, it's sticking though. Yep, it's sticking. All right. So while that's drying, I'm going to grab another piece here. And this is going to be from the actual the Treasured Dreams collection, which is what I used for the base. And I'm going to cut out a little key. It looks like this, and it has little hearts. It's so, so cute. So I'm going to cut out a couple of these to use in this book. I'm going to try, well, I don't think I can cut out more than one at a time because of the weight of paper that I'm using. I'll try to be quick. Oh no! Be blessed, Sam. Thank you so much. Boy, I wish I could go visit Sam. Sam is she has a practice of what do you call that? She's an esthetician. So I wish I could just fly, meet her, and be like, have at it, do whatever you want. All right, so I think it'll be super cute. It need not be functional, it can just be pretty. Okay, so I'll add that one there. So that way you know to open and close this here, right? Now, the decorative part on this side, that's what you're initially gonna see. So I think it's okay if it's covered by another layer on the back. I don't think that's too big of a deal. I'm only gonna use what I have here right now to cover this. So I'm actually gonna go in with this white piece of paper. I know it's a lot of white, but I still have decorative pieces that I can go back and keep adding to this book. But I've got this one here now. And this one, I'm trying to remember now which one. Okay, so this went there. This one could go here. And my letters are upside down again. Unless I cut it once more, which I think I will. I don't want it to look yucky after all that work. But I wanted to mention, if you have different colors of vellum, that sort of thing, that's perfect for this kind of application as well, because you can cut, for instance, I have this piece, you see how it's graduated with the different colors? That's how I had made this heart, by stamping and embossing on it and all that. So you can do that with the Tickets and Trinkets set, because this has stamps. So you can definitely add some heat embossing and just use it as a decorative piece in a book. So for instance, I have got this little ticket as well, but let's go ahead and, you know, let's use the colorful one because I think it's so pretty. I'm going to cut it out of the larger one. And then that way, let me see here. I'm trying to think of where I'm going to fit it first. Although I guess it doesn't truly matter because I can go ahead and use it. I could always use it on the back of this page. So I might just do that. All right, let me set this aside for a second. I can cut this out and then stamp it with one of these guys. So this says Big Top Circus. What else? Oh, here's, I don't know. I don't know what any of these bands are. It says something about music bands. No idea. But I'm guessing they're from a long time ago. So that way they don't get copyright strikes or whatever. So let's go ahead and cut one of these. It's too big for that. So let's do it this way. You know what? I'm going to do more than one because if not, I'm going to wish I had. So let's just do all three. Still here. Okay. And here's the way these look, which is so super delicate and pretty. And that is why vellum is my favorite medium, I have to say. I have to pick a favorite one, that would be it. Put those aside. And I can now go in and stamp one of these. So in order to do that, I'm going to put, set these aside a second, put some cornstarch or, you know, anti-static powder on it first. No, it smells like a baby in here. Then stamp it with Versamark clear ink. And I should probably get some embossing powder, huh? Oh, I know exactly which one I want to use. I'm actually going to use, let's go with, I have some that's, I'm trying to remember the name of it. No, that's, well, let's use this one. This one. Okay. I'm trying to remember the name, guys, but can't recall at the moment. I'm going to try to stamp this without moving it too much. And it's okay if it doesn't end up perfect. Stamp that. And I heard the stick, so it's going to be good enough. And this is kind of shabby because it has the glitter, it has blue, it has white. So I just cannot recall the name of it, and I apologize. But if one of you guys knows what I'm referring to, please leave it in the comments. And of course you can make your own. Okay, so now I'm going to heat this up. So pardon the noise. Do it up close so that way you guys can see. Guys, that is the most satisfying thing ever. Look at how cute. So if you see, if I tilt it this way, you can see the copper. And then if I tilt it this way, maybe you can see more of the shine. But it's, look at all the tiny little stars on that stamp. Let's just take a second to, I mean, I think that that is so adorable. And of course you could stamp it in any color you like. I just thought that that would be really sweet. And if you want to do, for instance, the rest of that ticket in, and while I'm doing it, or talking about it, let's just do it. That other stamp set that I took out here, which was, actually I have this one too. Yeah, let's do it. This is another one, and this is called, let's see here. This is called Topper Essentials, and it's $32.56. I just thought it was so pretty that I went ahead and grabbed it. So what I can do here is grab one of these smaller ones that has little flowers on it and do the same thing. So let's do the powder thingy again. Same process. And what I want to do is just allow the color of the actual stamp, or I'm sorry, the vellum to be what stands out. And let's get my piece of paper back. All right. So I can stamp it more than once. Do it on that corner, do it again. In this direction now. Do the powder. And then tap off the excess. Okay, and then heat it. And there's that. So of course, the reason I did this is because, as I mentioned before, it's perforated there. So if I want to, I can leave it as is and add some little gems there. That'd be one way to use it, or just go ahead and use the entire thing as it is, or, you know, of course, rip it apart. And that can go on our next page, which I had adhered this way. And the reason I did that was so that I could go ahead and use it as a double page here. It's another way that I've done mini albums in the past. And let's see here. I have this half page that I had cut before. If you guys recall the other page. So I can leave that white if I want to, or I can add another layer, which I think I will. Cut this one here with these roses. I've got this really pretty paper. This is how it came out when I printed it. So I'm just going to cut another piece here. I think it's going to look really nice. Cut around it real quick. And run this quickly through my machine. Now again, I didn't plan every single page. Actually, I didn't plan a single one. I just cut out a bunch of papers this morning. And this is what I have so far. But, let's see, how long have I been here? I've been here 3 hours and I've made this many pages. All of the embellishments, the foundation of the book. And then I'm gonna just finish this one page and I will have to go because your girl needs to sit down a minute. So, as I mentioned before, this is gonna be a page that will open like this, but I can add a little magnet there if I want to for it to close, or I can hide it behind here, which I think I'm gonna do right now. Because on that opposite page over here, if you remember, I have this fold out that has a magnet here. So it's going to help me to have that one. So that way I can open and close this page here as well. Okay. So as I said before, there's a method to my madness. I just am better at explaining it as I go rather than you know, creating a recipe, if you will. Some people are really good at that, and I do admire them so much. I'm just not one of those people. And I craft the same way that I cook. I don't do recipes, y'all. I just, you know, whatever I feel like doing in the moment, that's what we're gonna have, and I don't know. It's just a way of life, I guess. All right, I'm gonna put this the right way here because I was a little bit off. Want to make sure that lands correctly, as I had mentioned before, especially with a shaped page. Don't want to get too overconfident there. Okay, but now, oh, I love that paper. It's so pretty. Now I can add, what was I going to do again? I knew a second ago. Oh, the little pocket. So I could use this. I don't know if I want to do that because it's going to cover that up a bit. Or do I want to use a different paper for that? Let's see. My other options are kind of winding down here because I cut so many papers. Let's see here. I could make it like this. Yeah, I think I'm just going to keep it simple with one of these. And what I can do is cut away the border here so that I can put it right on top of that. So I'll do that. Still got that hot glue. Okay, I'm gonna cut away this decorative border. Just gonna follow the line here. And of course, this being a shabby book, I could definitely start fraying some edges here, but I'm just gonna go around the edge here. This is just old school. This is how we used to do it before the dies were around. Using our scissors. And then go ahead and add that texture. And I don't think you have to do this to every single page when you're doing a shabby album. I think it's up to you. Whatever you want to do is fine, you know, so long as it works. Right, so now I have my texture there. I'm going to add this as a little tuck spot. So add my little glue if it'll come out of the bottle. There we go. It's going to go right there. I'm going to only add glue to that little edge here. Bring it all the way to that edge. And I want to make sure it's kind of equal distance from top and bottom there. But not too close to the edge so that my page won't be able to move, right? Just taking a moment to dry. Okay, and then on there is where I can put my pretty little ticket to decorate. And of course I can group it with others. Don't need to add embossing to all of them because they can look like a nice little grouping and nice and delicate. And for this I'm going to use hot glue, but I'm going to just try to put a little drop of it there. I'm going to add my tickets. I might have to use more than one drop. Yep, a little drop here. I'm going to try to extend that a little tiny bit there so that this one can catch onto it. There we go. And then, all right, and to cover that drop, you guys probably already know this, but I'll go ahead and add the little diamonds or, you know, gems or whatever you want to call them. But I think this is going to be my last page because I have been crafting for 3 hours to add the rest of the pages of this book, which is probably going to be, I think, 2 more. Yeah, I think I'll add 2 more. I'm going to follow the same principle that I shared with you guys at the beginning of this video. If you came in late, you can go ahead and go back. You're going to see me assemble this entire thing, including the tickets, the little tag, I placed the spine bit there, the ribbon, the whole 9 yards. But I think this is a pretty extensive tutorial. If you ask me, a lot of people charge for this. I don't, as you can tell. You got a free lesson today on how to make a mini album. Yes. You're very welcome, Regina. But I do love sharing the little tips and tricks that I have learned through 20+ years of paper crafting. It's all a joy. It's all with love. I hope that that is conveyed on this channel, that you guys understand that I very much appreciate every single one of you coming by, saying hello, leaving me a thumbs up if you take anything away from my tutorials. And, you know, of course, if you can use my links, I would definitely appreciate it as well. It lets, you know, Tonic Studios know that you guys watch my channel, basically. And yeah, if you have any questions, always I share that you can reach out at paintsandglitter@gmail.com or through the comments and I'll get back to you. But this has been a lot of fun. And if it were up to me, I would keep going. But medically, it's not advisable for me to be standing this long. So I do have to go stretch my back. But I thank you guys. I hope that you can be inspired and be blessed. And I will definitely be sharing pictures and a very short video once this is all done, with links, of course, to this tutorial and all that jazz. All right. If you love this video, share it with your friends. Let people know you watched it and you enjoyed it, okay? Thank you guys so much for being here. And if you could leave me a thumbs up, it helps my channel. Ciao, ciao.